Hello and welcome to Woman Who Chat. And today I'm speaking to Amanda Harris, the author. And Amanda, you've just published your book. Tell us what it's called.
It is called She Will Never, Achieving My Vision with a Visual Impairment. There it is. I can never get it right on the screen.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, you will see the book there. If you're listening to us on audio, then hop over to YouTube and you can see the cover of the book. And we'll talk about how you can get hold of a copy of the book. You've had your book launch, you've officially launched, it's published. How do you feel?
It's absolutely amazing. I can't believe that I've got to this stage. I started writing almost 2 years ago, and I did have to be persuaded by my publisher, Lady Adi, to write at all. But I've just loved the whole writing process. But I think it all came to a head on this week when it was my book launch. And I sat at a table signing books with a queue of more than 40 people wanting a signed copy. And it was surreal. That was the moment where it hit me. I've written this book and people want to read it. So it's absolutely amazing.
And that's the vision, isn't it? It's the vision of actually being there and people asking for your signature on your book. And I don't think you see it in the movies and you see book launches, famous people. I'm not saying that you're not famous now, but to have that yourself, and a queue of people, that must have felt fantastic.
It was. I can't really explain it. And even looking back at photos and videos of the night, it still brings a lump to my throat. I still can't quite believe it happened.
Now, I met you during lockdown. Online, and first meeting, I would never have guessed that there was any visual impairment. It's what I class as one of the hidden disabilities, as you know. You don't walk around with a white stick. If meeting you on Zoom, I would not have known any different until you actually said, I've got a visual impairment, I can't see, or I can only see certain things. And it's not until you described it that I got the impact of that. And that's what the book's about, isn't it? The book talks about how it's never held you back.
It is. The book is, it's humorous, but it's also moving and it's very honest. And it's aimed, you can read it as an autobiography, but it's also aimed to help either people facing their own sight loss or friends, family and employers of people facing sight loss. So it's got some hints and tips in it of organisations that can help, and also technology that can help as well. So I class myself as visually impaired because I do have useful vision. My husband, Martin, is totally blind. They are his words. That's the word he likes to use. So his disability, I think, is easier for people to understand because you close your eyes and you're there. Whereas mine, I have to explain to people, and it is invisible to most people. I have a condition called nystagmus, which means that my eyes move a lot and I have no control over that. And once people know that, they can look at me and say, oh yes, I can see that a little bit. But some people, if you walk down the street behind me and I suddenly slow down because there's a shadow across the road that I think might be a step, people have accused me of being drunk, or mentally impaired, or but actually it's just my eyes.
Yeah, and I think that the poignant point in the book, because when I read it, was you had no idea up until that visit from I don't know whether it was an assessor or whatever, and the story of the plant, with the leaves on it. And I think that for me, it just made me stop. It really
it was. As a child, if you're told that you're different to other people, you don't really understand that. I saw all the other kids whizzing around in the school playground, and I just thought they were really brave because I thought they just saw shapes and colours the same way I did. And then I went for what was called a statement of special educational needs. And it was a social worker who came to the house. And she realised that I didn't know at all what my sight was like compared to hers. So she took me into the sitting room, got my parents out of the room, so it was just me and her, and we looked out of the front window together, and she said, "Can you see that house over there?" And I went, "Yes, of course I can." I could probably just see the shapes and the colours. "Can you see that window?" Well, yes, I could tell there was a white window frame against the red brick. She said, "Can you see that plant on the windowsill?" "Yes," I said. I couldn't see it at all. I couldn't tell there was a plant on the windowsill. And then she said, "I can count the leaves." And I started to cry. And I hated her to start with, but I've realised the gift that she gave me, because I then realised how much more than me most people can see, which made it more difficult to start with. But I now realise what I'm missing. And I don't know whether it would be allowed these days. It probably wouldn't, to do it that way. But I think that good social workers should.
Yes. And, you know, the book is called She Will Never because you were told you would never be able to do certain things. And you've had a go at them, and some things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
But the book really is about, you know, how you've faced barriers, but you found a different way. And I always say, you know, you want to get to a destination, you might not be able to go up the motorway, you might have to take a few side roads to get where you want to be. A bit like in business, you know where your goal is, but you might have to take a few detours, and you found the detours.
Yes, it's all about finding your own way to do things. It's either trying to do it on your own and seeing if there's a way around it, because if other people have said you can't do that, well, they're not inside your skin. They don't know what you can and can't do. So give it a try. If you're struggling, there could be technology that would help you. There could be people that could help you, but don't take no for an answer. And also, there might be things that you're told you can't do that actually you can, but you don't want to. I remember feeling really left out as a teenager because everyone was going to nightclubs, and I won't be able to say. So a very good friend took me to a nightclub. I hated it. I didn't like the noise. I didn't like the flashing lights. And I thought, oh, all right then, I just don't like that. Nothing to do with my visual impairment.
Fantastic. You know, and you met your husband, and he was partially sighted at the time and lost his sight before your son was born. I mean, that must have been challenging for both of you, and to have a new baby.
It was tough. I mean, he was rushed into hospital knowing that his sight could go. And literally while he was in hospital, I found out that I was pregnant. So by the time our son Matthew was born, Martin had no sight at all. So it was new baby and blind husband. But actually, it's worked. I was paranoid. I was totally paranoid that they would take the baby off us because they think we weren't fit parents, which of course didn't happen. But the staff in the hospital were absolutely amazing. They taught Martin how to change a nappy by feel. And I'd had a cesarean section, so I was stuck in bed. I couldn't do anything. So by the time we got home, Martin had changed nappies for 5 days and I hadn't done it at all. So he'd say, well, the midwife didn't do it like that. I thought he was the expert. And again, we've had to find our own way. And our son is now a teenager and fully sighted. So we're a real family of mixed abilities.
That should be fun. I imagine there's hilarious fun. I know you've put some humour into the book and some anecdotes and funny stories, which I'm not going to spoil. Won't put a spoiler there. You've got to buy it to read it.
Yeah.
So where can people buy the book?
You can buy it on Amazon. So if you put my name in, Amanda Harris, it's called She Will Never: Achieving My Vision with a Visual Impairment. Or you can order it through Waterstones. It's on the Waterstones website, not in the shops, but on the website. But I'm reliably informed that if enough people order it off the website, they might think about stocking it in the shops. Yes. So it's up to you.
And of course, you're speaking around the country over the next few months, and people are more than welcome to come along and meet you in person, which I highly recommend. Having heard Amanda speak, it's worth it to be in the room, because it's a very powerful story and told with such humour, which I do admire you for. you know, it's a challenging topic, you know, a disability, a hidden disability at that. But you've actually brought it out into the open, and you actually got Andy Bounds to write your foreword, didn't you?
I did. It was amazing. And I sent him a copy of the finished book, because he obviously wrote the foreword, having seen the draft. And he sent me a lovely voicemail to say how much he'd really enjoyed it. So I was honoured.
Yeah, because it's great when you can get somebody, and he suffers with a visual impairment as well, doesn't he?
He does, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we've run out of time, Amanda. I could be chatting to you. We've talked previously about your business, so please listen to previous episodes, and we'll link them in the notes. But Amanda Harris, author of She Will Never, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.